Hi guys, I'm AM Reaper, and this is DMT, Journey of the Infant Mind. Welcome. If you've never been in here, welcome along. If you have, welcome back. Alright, better get on with this. Today I'm about to make a video that you probably might be thinking, yes, finally he's going to talk about something we want to hear about. Instead of all this suspicion and dribble and conspiracy stuff. Well, all I can say is about that too is the stuff that I have talked about. Some pretty cool stuff like Wallace Thornhill with Electric Universe and a few other different aspects of it, but don't go getting conspiracy theories and research and heaps of stupid shit, because you just drive yourself stupid. I've done it for years and you don't get any answers, you just ask more questions, and so you just narrow it down to what really is plausible to you and your faiths and what you want to know. Don't go doing all this flat earth shit and researching aliens and ghosts and all this fucking crap. Like, it's all cool, but you won't get an answer, mate. You're just wasting your time. It's good to expand the knowledge, but you're better off spending time with your family. Alright, but this is a different topic altogether. Okay, so rightio, we need to recap the other video first. Just bear with us a sec. The computer's been a pain in the ass this morning. Rightio. So, set and setting. We're just going to do a recap and then we'll start talking about DMT dosages and effects. Okay, let's give us a drink here for a sec. The orange juice. And let's go. So set and setting. The set and setting of DMT is all about the mind and the space. Now, the set is the mindset. Okay? So, and the space is your space where you're going to choose to have the experience, where you choose to do your DMT. So, whether it be the lounge room, the bedroom, the living room, outside in the grass, or what, wherever. So, the set is to make sure you've got a good mindset. You don't want to be hung up on anything. You don't want to be upset about anything. You want to have a good day. You're happy, everything's going well, everything's all good. Okay, so you get up in the day that you think, oh yeah, cool, this might be the day. So you get up and do your chores and you make sure everything's cool. Like, I'm a little bit obsessive compulsive, so I get up and make sure all my house is neat and tidy and everything's in order and everything's all ready to go. There's no hang-ups, there's no stresses. Spend a bit of time with your family if you've got kids and things like that. Have a bit of fun. Make sure the day's a day worth spending. All the vibes are good, everybody's happy. Don't eat heaps of shit food. As I said, in the Amazon they have ayahuasca retreats where they eat specific diets and foods for the week before you consume DMT. And they say not to eat a lot of fatty foods and shit. I just make sure I don't eat too much crap, and I don't drink a lot of caffeine. I drink coffee by the bucket loads. I just limit myself a few hours before I smoke DMT. Well, used to. Okay, because this is a serotonin acting drug. You have serotonin receptors in your stomach, in your bowel, all the way through your body and your head. You've heard the expression, your bowel is your second stomach. Or your second brain, your stomach's your second brain. Well, that's because that originates from there being more serotonin receptors in your stomach and bowel than there are in your brain. Okay, so that's where that comes from. Rightio. So you've decided you want this experience now. Where do you get DMT from? I don't know. I don't know where you're going to get it from or who you're going to get it off. It's illegal, so be bloody careful what you do, because if you do go get this stuff and get busted, you're in big trouble. You shouldn't be, but you are. It's just the way the laws are. So you've decided to get some DMT. The main thing is you need to know your stuff. You need to know where it came from, who made it, and what's the go. Okay, so know your stuff, right? There is different types of DMT out there. The one we're talking about here is N,N-dimethyltryptamine. Okay, and that one there, why I show you a toad, is because they have 5-MeO DMT, which comes off his toad. They used to lick it and get, anyway, toad venom. So therefore, the point is, some people buy DMT on the internet and they'll buy 5-MeO DMT, not N,N-dimethyltryptamine. Now, 5-MeO is active, very active at 5 milligrams, where N,N-dimethyltryptamine is not active at 5 milligrams. I mean, it's active, but it does bugger all. So make sure you know that you've got NN, not 5-MeO. There is a test for it, and we'll talk about that in a minute. So you know your stuff. Now, solvents and stuff, you don't use that, but the reason I'm showing a picture of that is because you need to know who made your DMT. Okay, so you'd like to know what sort of plant it came out of, what they used to extract it, and if they did it properly. And what I mean by that is these solvents need to evaporate cleanly. If they don't evaporate cleanly, they get left in your product. If it's in your product, you're smoking it. You don't want to smoke caustic substances or these fuel substances. They are bad. They're fucking bad for your lungs. You don't want to do it. Okay, so you need to know who made your DMT and what they used, and make sure they know what they're doing. Because DMT just doesn't come out of the middle of nowhere. Someone had to make it somewhere. Okay. Now here we go. Well, or extract it, not make it. But that. Here is DMT in different colours, different colour ranges in different bags. As you see there's white, there's yellow, there's an orange looking stuff, and that other bag there's a brown or red. Now they're the different purities of DMT. DMT in its purest form is white crystals. Okay. The yellow stuff, there's pale yellow stuff, down to yellow stuff, down to orangey stuff, down to red stuff, and even brown. Now they are just more alkaloids and plant fats left in the end product. You can get DMT out if it's got a high NMT content, or you don't extract the other alkaloids. It'll just end up as a gooey ball of mess. The gooey ball of mess is active, but it's hard to work with, and it's a little bit different experience than just using crystal DMT. Now, in saying that though, there's nothing wrong with the yellow DMT, or so to speak. The red's a bit shit. The yellow stuff's okay. Pale yellow's great. The reason I say that is because, say, in ayahuasca, when you're in the jungle, you have a mixture. They're not extracting the alkaloids, so you're getting a few different inputs or influences from the other alkaloids in the plant matter. So therefore, if you're using yellow DMT, they do say like, oh, you're getting a better trip, or you're getting a few more alkaloids put in from another aspect there of the plant, and it changes the trip a little. Okay, DMT is DMT, but you can change the trip a little with different alkaloids, especially N-methyltryptamine, which is highly present in some plants that contain DMT. N-methyltryptamine will make the trip go longer, and usually when DMT you've got pressure lift-offs at the stage when it lets you go. There usually be one more stage with N-methyltryptamine. It'll take a little bit longer to come on. The journey will last a fair bit longer, and it's said to be a slight Hamala alkaloid, okay, like Syrian rue, so to speak. So, N-methyltryptamine has some Hamala properties, so it does extend the DMT trip. Okay. Okay, don't eyeball your measurements, alright? Get a set of 000 scales. Don't eyeball it. DMT after the 20 milligrams up to 25, start to get over those ranges. 2 milligram increases is a lot, so you don't want to start just guessing it. You'll end up freaking the shit out of yourself, or be having something that you're not prepared for. I mean, nothing can prepare you for DMT, but you need to be mentally prepared as much as you can, and be comfortable with what you've just stuck in your billy. And we prefer to do it at night time, where everything's quiet, everything's settled down, you had a good day, the outside's quiet, there's no dogs barking in the neighbourhood and carrying on, there's no cars flying past, no people arguing next door. Okay, so night time's come, and we've turned our lights down. Like to do it in a dark room. We personally like to do it in a dark room. Years ago we thought that was the best way. After all, we started off doing it in 80% lit room, but now we'd say 100% dark. And to increase the visions, it's a lot better when it's dark. Daytime's okay, but it's not nowhere near as good as it's dark, and nothing nowhere near it. And here we have. Well, it doesn't really matter when you blast right at the other side, but for different dosages it does matter. Here we have incense. I'm not a real fan of incense, but I do burn incense before a DMT experience. Mainly Syrian rue. Main reason being just old superstition, just to ward off evil spirits, and to give you take away negativity. Okay, so anything that, when you experience these things, anything that can take away the negativity or make you feel better about yourself, your mindset, whether it works or not. If it works in your mind, go for it. Alright. Now the position. People like to lay in a bed or whatever else and this and that. I find the best way after testing and trying is to actually sit in a recliner. Make sure your head's above your feet, and make sure you're not laying back. So make sure that the gravity isn't pushing on your chest. Make sure your chest is sitting forward of the gravity axis, so your chest can go up and down with less stress. Okay, they make a difference when you're in there. On a big dose you're not really sure if you're still breathing, it's nice for anything to make breathing easier is a plus. Okay, and that last picture, that guy sitting in the chair, you can meditate sitting in a chair. You do not need to sit there and tie yourselves in knots and look like a lotus and I am grasshopper. You don't need to do that. It's good when you're learning to start and do it to start with, to learn what the go is and why they do what they do. But after that, there's no reason to do that. You can calm the mind and meditate in a chair. Just make sure you're not touching yourself. Not touching yourself. What I mean is, don't touch your hands. Don't sit, like I explained before, don't go, oh, this and that. Just make sure your hands are sitting free from your legs and each leg's apart and everything just feels free, so it's easy to let go. Okay? And we like to listen to meditation. I spoke about meditation and how the brain waves change. The brain waves change for a better. Now the idea is meditation changes the brain waves to get yourself into different conscious states, which enhance different things, different visions and all whatever else. So we talked about digital drugs in the last episode, so now we know it works, right? So I like to use Byron Metcalf and Steve Roach. They both work together and they do a lot of, here's one, this is my favourite album, The Shaman's Heart by Byron Metcalf. I think it's song number 4, Raven Medicine, is the one we used to use for the DMT experience. The reason that is because it's got a lot of shamanic drumming in it. There's no singing and narrating or anything like that. It's fairly intense music. One that you can count to 20 easily. It starts off lovely, blissful, then it starts banging the drum. You can count to 20 fairly easily with the music going, and it sort of leads me to believe that my heart's still beating to the sound of the drum, because I'm sort of just thinking, fuck, am I breathing? Yeah, good. And you can't really hear it anyway, but it's just a mindset. First time I did the experience, I was shown how to use this. I didn't like the song at all. I thought it was absolutely, whoa, what the is this crap? I spent the next 2 hours, while the guy waited for me, trying to find a decent tune, all these whale noises and Tibetan chiming and all this sort of stuff. And I came back to it in the end and had a go at this, and I've tried a few different tunes over the years, but no, they never seem to work as well as this one. Okay, I don't like to listen to this track of his too much when I'm not in the experience. I do, but there are other songs of his that are better for leading up to it. So I'll lead up to it with his other music and then hit this one just before I pick it up. Okay? Usually put it on twice actually, have it recorded once after the other, because the experience usually lasts longer than this. Depending on where you get your product from, stuff I acquired years ago was high-end methyltryptamine, so it lasts a lot longer than one song. And as I said before, there's lots of different methods. We used to like the sandwich method. Marijuana smoking water pipe. You put your DMT in the bottom, then you put your herb in the bottom. So you fill up half your cone up with herb. You put your product in the middle. You put herb on the top. And the reason for that is so the lighter doesn't burn it. DMT burns at 40 degrees. So if you start burn, you hit it with a lighter, it's dead, it's fucked. Okay, it's no good anymore. So that's why you put a layer on top. So you light the layer on top nicely, you move the lighter, you suck it in, you get the cherry glowing, it burns it heats the DMT up, which then melts into the bottom layer, then the cherry vaporizes the bottom layer and you inhale the smoke. If you don't have any herb in the bottom, it'll just run straight down the cone piece into the pipe and do absolutely nothing, hit the water. And if you as I said, don't put anything on top of it, it'll just burn straight away. You don't want a cone piece with a thumping great hole in it, but you don't want it small, and you want to make sure it's clean and not going to get blocked, or you don't get blocked halfway through. And I forgot to mention before, if you're using herbs, don't use a harsh one. You need to hold this stuff in 20 seconds, so whatever you're using needs to be pretty inert into the lungs, okay? You don't need to be Larry Lungs, you just need to be pretty inert. You need to use something you're not going to cough your guts up, because that's no point at all in that, because you're not going to be able to hold it in and you're just going to waste your DMT. So it's all good if you do it that way. But if you get the lighter out and you hit the top of it, you burn it too hard, or you pull the flame too hard through it. It takes a little while to get this technique down. It doesn't sound like it, but it does. You'll taste burnt DMT, and that's when they say, oh, people make it smells like burnt plastic, it tastes like shit. No, DMT does not taste like shit. DMT tastes actually rather sweet and rather nice. It's a magical smell. When you first smell it, it's like a smell you've smelt your whole life. First time I ever smelt DMT, I walked into a house and a bloke said, oh mate, smell this. This is that DMT. And I'll smell it and I went, fuck, I've smelt that before, where have I smelt that? And you sit on the couch for half an hour and you think, I've smelt that, where have I smelt it? And you can never put your finger on it. But anyway, it's a smell you're very familiar with. People say it smells like mothballs and this. It doesn't. It smells like an old church mixed with something else. It's weird, but it's an organic compound, so that's why it smells like it does. I will say the more colour in your DMT, the stronger the smell is. When it's pure white, it doesn't smell a great deal at all until you burn it. Okay. If you smell burnt DMT or a horrible taste when you're smoking it, you have burnt your DMT and you have wasted a bit of the product. Okay, if you smoke it properly, you won't taste any burnt DMT. You'll barely taste it at all, and you might taste a bit when you blow it out, but usually you won't taste it about halfway through the trip. It'll be a strong sensation of DMT. There won't be any burnt plastic taste. Chenga, on the other matter, yeah, that tastes a bit funky. So yeah, it's a completely different taste of DMT. You get the DMT taste-ish at the end of it, or halfway through, but the initial onset and taste when you first inhale Chenga is like on your lips, and that's not real pleasant. Right. Yeah, as I said, it tastes like shit if you do it wrong. You need to hold the stuff in for 20 seconds. 20 seconds, you have to, okay? Don't sit there and, I'm about to pop. Just, you've done your breathing, your meditation, you're ready to go, you're as ready as you can be. I know you're anxious and pre-flight anxiety's kicked in, but you sort of get on top of that, suck it in, hold it in, think to yourself, well, too late, and it's done now. Sit back in your chair, count to 20 with the drums, blow it out, put your hands down beside you, and just close your eyes and relax. Okay? At that stage, there's nothing you can do. You're in for the ride. Don't try and fight it. There's nothing you can do. Okay? Just relax. The best thing you can do is relax and just concentrate on yourself and your breathing. Okay? The first few times on DMT, or if you're having any doses above 25 milligrams or above 20 sometimes, I'd say it's good to have a trip sitter, just for your own peace of mind. I used to like having a trip sitter, anything over 25 plus milligrams, just for my own peace of mind. And the trip sitter usually has a torch because it's a dark room, just to quickly check. Don't shine in the person's eyes, but just quickly to check on the person who's during the experience, just to make sure everything's okay. As I said, the sandwich method, pull it in, MJ Bilge, sandwich method in a bong is the best method I find. But as I said, I'm an old weed smoker. I used to smoke weed when I was years ago, so it's no skin off my nose to do this method where other people struggle. Okay, so if you do struggle, the next best thing you could do is probably roll your own cigarette, so to speak. Use something that's not going to cough your guts up, and maybe some herbs and parsley or something, I don't know. But the problem with this is you need to double your dose. So if you're using 20 milligrams of DMT in a cone piece in a bong sandwich method, you need to put 40 in a joint. So you want to put it a little bit back from the start so the joint burns, lace it in there pretty heavily at the start in a fairly linear fashion, so there's enough in there for about 3 breaths, 2 or 3 breaths at the most. You get it in, so you light up your joint, you suck it, make sure it's burning, or not your joint, your smoke. Then you suck hard, hold it in for 20, suck hard, hold it in for 20, suck hard, hold it in for 15, and that's how your joint will get you there. But DMT does wear off quickly, and that's why the 3 breath method will never outdo the 1 breath method, because people argue, but go and try it. The 3 breath method takes too long to come on, and some of the times the DMT is depleting in the system while it's actually trying to put it back in, because you've got a window of about 1 minute and 30 seconds to get your inhalation of DMT in before the brain starts attacking it, and it starts, what's the word for it, can't remember, starts depleting out of the system. So DMT is very, very fast acting, but it's also very fast to be depleted. Okay? Or you could try ayahuasca. If you know the brew mixtures and or whatever else, you could do it ayahuasca. It's a lot longer experience than smoking DMT. But it's nowhere near as intense, more insightful, I'd say, but nowhere near as intense. You won't go as far with ayahuasca unless you drink a fucking shit ton of it. And then the body effects are probably not going to be real nice. You might be probably shitting through the eye of a needle for a fair while, so I probably wouldn't do that. That's the problem with a lot of these chemicals, like, they say magic mushrooms and this and that, you can break through and have the same effect. Well, you can, to a certain degree, but the bodily effects of taking all that other rubbish in the mushroom and that sort of stuff, like you're on shrooms and you can barely walk and you feel like shit and you feel like spewing and you taste this horrible taste of mushrooms and you close your eyes and the visions are all going sideways and everything's all messed up, and it's a real horridish sort of journey compared to DMT. I mean, if you took DMT slowly and had you come just the full sedation effect of DMT, you'd never do it. But yeah, tried some big doses of mushrooms a long time ago, and experimented fairly heavily with mushrooms, and never for recreation. I've never experimented with a psychedelic drug for recreation. It's always been for purposes of religious nature. Always chasing the idea of what the hell's going on. But yeah, shrooms, or the body effects on shrooms and LSD and mescaline are very, very high and fucking terrible compared to and trying to get to the level where DMT will get you to. Okay, so you're better off just getting the granddaddy and putting up with it. The other ones are insightful, but they're just not. Like the LSD is good in a social setting to have a laugh with people. Nothing a few beers won't do, so to speak, without the visual distortions and all the walls warping and all that sort of fun stuff. But yeah, it's more of a mind fuck. It's more than a drug. It's good LSD. I won't talk about that now. We'll talk about that another time. Back to ayahuasca administration routes. Okay, don't IV DMT. They did on the spirit molecule. That's how it was all conducted. But you don't want to go IV DMT. The simple reason being, it was made in a lab. On most of the DMT you get around here, it's got to be made by somebody. You can't get around here, but get on the internet, or it's got to be made by somebody, extracted by somebody, and use chemicals. And I wouldn't guarantee that those chemicals have been evaporated properly, or the residue is still in there. So, don't go shooting this stuff up. People do, but I just advise for the average person, don't. Righto, back to meditation. That's my favourite. There it is again, The Shaman's Heart, Byron Metcalf. And that's what it looks like on the internet. If you type in Raven Medicine Byron Metcalf into YouTube, that's what the picture will come up like. Listen to that. Okay, that's cool. Oh, and there's the Vapor Genie. It's a pipe. It's just like an old marijuana pipe, so to speak. Same principle. It's got a disc in the top, a ceramic disc. You heat up, you stick in there. So you put those hot. You put your product on top of the disc, and then you suck, and then so it vaporizes the DMT, which goes into that little chamber there, and you suck and suck and suck. It's just the same as a pipe. Fairly harsh-ish. Not as harsh as what I would say MJ pipe is. Fairly harsh-ish. So there's another way that's a good way to do it. You see these people and they use this thing called the machine, use the machine. The machine's a bloody 1.25 bottle cut down with the bottom cut off it, and you make a foil bottom, stick it on there. But in the meantime, before you stick it back on there, you make a little well in the bottom of it, stick your DMT in the middle of it, so it's got a little hump, stick it back on, and then you light the bottom of it, put the lid on like a vaporizer, and you vaporize your DMT with a lighter, and then you take the lid off and suck it all in. Now, I'm not here to advocate how to do DMT. I'm just saying this is a fucking stupid way to do DMT. I find, no, not stupid. It's not very economical. Two, it burns your DMT if you're not very careful, and three, it tastes like shards and needles and glass going in your throat because it's just, I don't know, it's just real weird. I did it a few times years ago, and I didn't like it. So personally, I wouldn't waste my time. I would just either, as I said, roll it in a smoke, but you're wasting your DMT. Go and buy a glass of Vapor Genie or put it in a bowl. Best way is to put it in a bowl, I find. Okay, smoke's a bit cooler that way. You're not losing any alkaloids through the water. I can guarantee you that. Rightio. Enough dribble. Let's get into the exciting stuff. Now let's hope I don't muck this up. The reason being, I did this video an hour ago, and ad come up on YouTube and stuffed my whole video. So okay, another screen running, you see. So here we go. Let's get into it. DMT, what the effects are like at different dose ranges. I've put my dose ranges from 0 to 6. It's not how I saw it, but I've rescaled everything back to try and fit into the 1 to the 6 of the spirit molecule, okay? So let's go. DMT is not linear. After a certain period of time, it goes up very drastically in very small increments. So after 20 milligrams for some people, I'd say, 23 is a lot more than 20, 25 is a lot more than 22, 27 is a lot more than 25, 29 is a lot more than 27, 32 is a shitload more than 29, sort of thing. It goes up very steeply when you start getting up in those ranges. Okay? So, let's go. 0 to 5 milligrams. Test. The test. Right, you need to do a test dose of 5 milligrams. The reason I say that is for MEO DMT. You need to test, put 5 milligrams of NN in a cone and smoke it. If it doesn't do very much at all, then it's not 5 MEO DMT. So you can be assured that your dealer has sold you NN dimethyltryptamine, not 5 MEO. There are chemical tests you can do for it, but that's the easiest way. Okay, right. Now level 1. Level 1 I'd still call a test, and this I'd call a toxicity test on you. So what you do is you put 10 milligrams in your cone, hold it in 20 seconds, or 15, and let it out. Make sure your lungs don't burn, all this sort of stuff. If you get a real bad lung burn and stuff like that, it means that there's probably some contaminants in it. They might have left lye in your DMT, or there might be some fuel left in there. Usually it evaporates, but lye doesn't usually burn at those degrees, but you never know what some dumbass has done, so make sure. If your lungs start burning bad and they don't stop by a minute or two, then there's a contaminant in your DMT, and I probably wouldn't smoke the shit. Alright, so that's what your 10 milligram test's about, and to see if anybody's allergic to anything. Highly unlikely with DMT, but with all drugs you do it anyway. Okay, I don't care if you're wasting your product, you're better off wasting a little bit of your product than killing yourself. Alright? Rightio, so that was the 10 milligram test dose. Rightio. Now with that, you may see a change in the blackness. That's all I'm saying. Your blackness, when you close your eyes, it's a bit sparkly and speckly and stuff's all doing this and that and not much, but it's something there, right? What I mean is it's not black, is it? Everyone goes, no, it's not black. So it's not black. People think, what the fuck are you looking at? Well, just trust me, close your eyes, look now. It's not black. It's not anything else. It's a bit of red blood sort of flow going through your eyelids or whatever else, but it's not black, okay? What 10 milligrams, what they might do is it might sort of start to turn everything dark. So those little bits will stop, okay? And it'll start to go dark, like a bit of a space, a bit of a void. Maybe. You might feel a little bit weird and a bit woozy, a bit woo. If I had a beer, have I? Woo. Sort of thing. You feel a bit funny. Okay, so level 2 is a 15 milligrams, okay? And this is different for different people. I don't find this dose very large at all, but it can be if you've got really, really good DMT and you know how to smoke it properly. It can be quite cool. Not cool, quite insightful or useful, okay? I'm actually trying to read here off some different notes. I've got 10 pages of notes here. Usually I'll stick them on my computer screen, but if I did that, I'll be able to see anything, so we'll have to bear with me, you guys, okay? So sorry about that, so just bear with me. Rightio. Turn the page, so we've got 15 milligrams, right? So 15 milligrams, you know, well, you don't know, that's why you're watching this. The blackness, as I said, starts to surround you and starts to come in. So you notice your vision's gone from speckly nothing to it's gone dark to now there's something starting to form. All these little strange effects are starting to form. All these little things are all dancing with each other, and you think, well, what the hell's going on here? So it surrounds you. You start to feel sedated. Heavy doses of DMT, you feel like you've had anaesthetic, so you feel fairly sedated, and you may start to see some geometric patterns and things forming in the darkness, forming in the distance. These will still be more than likely fairly faint and distant, but you'll definitely notice some fractal patterns and things all starting to form in the distance. And what is this? Okay, you might have a little vibrating. You might start to feel yourself humming and buzzing a bit. You start to feel your body might be a bit light, a bit funny, and it's a really good sort of state for meditation. This is, if you it's a really, really relaxing and really, really nice state of DMT. It's barely even scratching the surface of DMT, but it's a really cool way of using DMT. 15 milligrams you smoke probably up to about 18 or so. It's really good for a first experience with DMT. Okay, so you're not getting much out of that, but it's changing your psyche a fair bit, and it's very relaxing. Okay, the black just closes in, becomes one with itself, turns into a bit of a void, and a few fractal patterns and lines and shapes will start coming out of the place. Okay, so I keep looking down. I'm looking at some notes. You might feel all encompassed and all loved up and all love and fuzzy, and this is the best stuff in the world. Give it to grandma at the nursing home. If you've got an aching leg at this stage, you don't anymore while you're on DMT. It's all stopped hurting. Okay, and there's some lines out of the blackness that you may encompass, that sort of stuff. The black starts turning into different things. You know, assuming no one else, if you've never had DMT or psychedelics, you've never seen anything like that, so it's pretty amazing. But this is nowhere near what DMT can do. Okay. So the level 3 test is up to 20 milligrams, okay? And I'd call this the top of the black. So the way I'm going to describe DMT 1 to 6, we're up to level 3, but usually it's the black, it all changes into black. You can sort of swirl around, and then it's got what I call the ceiling of the black before you punch through. You punch through into the tunnel, into the waiting room, may go to a gridded world, and then you'll go right out into Never Never Land, okay? Which is like the full DMT blow your mind experience. Okay, just going to put my little heady thing back up here. It just fell off and it's rather uncomfortable on your neck, so we'll just sort of slide that back on. Rightio, 15 to 20 milligrams. Top of the black as I can if you get there. Rightio, 15, 20 milligrams. Rightio, once you exhale, you feel a bit, you instantly start to feel a bit giddy. Start to feel, ooh, it's a bit funny. Not sickly, but a bit giddy. Okay, you might get the smell and the taste of the DMT on your lips at this stage, and then the darkness closes in around you. That blackness forms, becomes black, and then it starts to come in and starts to dance. Everything starts to go. The body buzz will be fairly high at this stage, and you'll be starting to feel highly sedated. Okay, you start to feel highly sedated. Yeah. Something may appear in the centre of your vision fairly quickly. All of a sudden nothing's going on, and all of a sudden you think, oh, and then all of a sudden this thing will start appearing. Okay, the fractals and that fractal patterns and lines and different things will start building out of everywhere. They won't just start emanating out of the centre. You'll start to realise you're actually encompassed in something, and they're starting to build from every direction. Like, wondering what? Everything's starting to come at you at a fair rate of knots. It's not flat out, but a fair rate of knots what you're used to, and it's quick enough for you not to be able to really look and understand and look at the next one before you sort of registered the first one. So fractal patterns come out, you get a high body sedation, and then this is where you start to experience pressure. Okay, one guy came out of the experience one day, and I asked him about it, and he said to me, oh, it's almost like having somebody pushing from the inside. It is, you feel pressure on your body and your sinuses and face and things, but you feel the pressure from the inside, and it's like somebody's holding you in your chair. It's like you got a big weight sitting inside you, holding you into the chair, but you don't feel it physically pushing down on you, but you feel it holding you in the chair. Okay, and at this stage there's lots of imagery, and you're vibrating. You start to hear the buzz, you might hear a hum, you can feel your body buzzing its ass off, and then the fractal imagery starts to get in, starts swirling, goes to the black, the colours start to form, it starts swirling and starts doing all sorts of things. Images at this stage are just coming from all over the place. Lots of different patterns and symbols and things start to emerge, and yeah, it all becomes a lot more intricate. People who don't or haven't had much DMT or have never had a psychedelic at this level, they think they've broken through on DMT. They think that this is the all be and all and end all of DMT, but it's far from it. But it is absolutely amazing. It is absolutely awesome to see, and only DMT will show you these characteristics at this level of this drug. It's not the same as LSD, psilocybin, whatever else. Only DMT will show you with this at this level, and it is awesome. It is very, very great. It's probably my favourite level of DMT. You haven't popped in the next void. It hasn't kicked you in the face yet, but you're pretty much as high as you can go without popping into the next void, into the first place, into the tunnel, going through the veil. This here, you're vibrating hard. The pressures are fairly intense. For an experienced to an unexperienced user, this is a fairly intense experience, and it's probably my favourite. After all the experiences over the years, this won't show you what DMT will do, but it's an awesome experience. Alright, and you also might get some place like that, like everything's gridded and 3D and voided, and it's still fairly black though. As I said, we're still in the black. We haven't popped through yet, so we're still in the black, but the black can be pretty awesome once you're right at the top of it, just before you pop through. Okay, you might even start to see the base of the tunnel if you're fairly lightly weighted. Depending on your body mass, if you're a light person, you might start to see the fractal world come up. Okay, as I said, it's my number one preferred smoking way of DMT, as in dosage range, just for therapeutic benefits. Okay, blasting yourself out to Never Never Landing and scaring the date out of yourself isn't therapeutic. So, yeah, okay. So this is just touching on the level 4 experience 2 at the high levels of dose 3. So that's my number 1, right? Pretty much. This is the next level. Especially good for meditation. It's awesome. So level 4 is probably my favourite level, but level 1's the best. Level 3 is the best for meditation. Level 2 is best for your grandma. Level 1's a waste of time, unless you're testing. Okay. So hope you're enjoying so far. Sorry to dribble on. Got a fair bit to get through, and yeah, the pictures I'm showing are only trying to represent DMT. I was going to spend hours making it, but there's no point. I can't do it. Like at the moment, I'm not that good on computers, and I can't see a computer program possible. When I look for a DMT trip on the internet, I don't look for the most flashy laser beam spun out thing with all that sort of stuff. You look for the most fractal pattern, 3D geometry, voided rooms, spinning around, all this sort of stuff that you can find. Like that's what I said. There's a lot of hype on the internet about DMT. We'll get to, but DMT can show you some pretty amazing things. All right then. So here we go. This is what you classify it. It's a 20 to 25 milligram hit of DMT. Right. So you'll start to feel a strong body buzz and hum. She comes all over. She just it'll either come out of your feet and come up, or it'll come out of your chest and emanate out. It may come out of your head, but more than likely it'll come out of your chest or out of from your feet and up and just overwhelm you. It is fairly overwhelming the first few times. It'll make sometimes people cry, but I've seen people cry, but I've never have. It's fairly overwhelming. Your hearing may distort. You may hear a hum or a buzz. You may hear nothing at all. It goes a bit dull. Sort of noise, maybe. Or you might hear a real high-pitched whine or a crackling noise. Or you might hear something go like, I'll make some funny noises. Love the sound effects. Look like a dickhead, but haha. But yeah, I'm serious here. The hearing on DMT is diminished at the best of times until you sort of fall out of your trip about halfway. Okay. So then everything goes dark and you start to see your patterns very quickly. Here, everything then opens up fairly quickly. You're vibrating at a high level and you're buzzing your ass off. Your body's highly sedated. You can still move on DMT, but I'm talking like just my finger still works. Oh, yeah, I've just bent my toe. Like you move around and scratch your face whenever you slowly if you have to. Like you can move, but you don't want to, and you don't feel like it, and you've got no need to move. But you aren't going to get out of the chair and move anywhere. If you're standing up smoking DMT, you've got to fall over and land on your ass. You're going to hurt yourself, alright? So make sure you're sitting down, because you will fall over. No two ways about it. You're going to face plant and break your face, alright? Or fall back and crack your skull. So make sure you're sitting down. Okay? So that we've popped it in, we've blown it out, we've held on for 20 seconds, and our body started to buzz a heap. Everything's gone black and sort of really quickly, and we've noticed something start to come out of the middle, and your hearing's all starting to go funny, and everything's sort of racing around, and you're starting to get 200 feelings at once, and you don't know what's going on. You think, oh shit, why'd I do this? Oh no, fucking, when you start to sort of cave in on yourself and feel like you got butterflies real bad. Then all of a sudden you start to feel yourself lift out of the chair or get swept away. A lot of times you sort of lift up. It's almost like the beam of light coming down, whoa, lifting you up. But you sort of feel yourself lift up. It doesn't happen every time. You still get the same place, but it doesn't mean you have to lift up. You can fall backwards. You can do nothing. But you usually on this stage you'll lift up or fall somewhere or go, and you get high. For me, you go up and up and up, and you go, oh shit, I'm getting high. Oh no, I'm getting high. Oh, fuck, if I fall, I'm gonna break my neck here. Oh, I'll go through the roof. Keep going up and up, and then you just forget about it. You see all these patterns and things swirling and fractals are all coming in at you, and your vision's here, and then all of a sudden you realise you're going up and the vision's down here, even though you haven't moved out of your chair. You're still sitting in exactly the same position you were. You're laying back in your chair, but you just feel like you're looking down, you're going up, and you're going up, and you're going up. And then you start to see the visions change. You get mega pressure. Start to feel yourself, and then you go into, you'll see this crisscross. So you've seen all those visions to show, you see this, for me it's like a crisscross patterns, and it's sort of, set all this stuff down, and you go up and you see it come, because it's up here, because you're leaning over now. You've sort of picked you up, and it's sort of leant you forward and bent you over, and you're watching all your visions down, here. And the next thing is, you see all these visions come from down, and these grids all come out from the peripheral visions. And then all of a sudden you look up and you look through it, and it's like vast. It looks like looking through a building site or something, geometrical scaffolding. And then all of a sudden you just go boom, and you pop into the tunnel. Or the waiting room, as they call it. And when you pop in, and that's what you call a breakthrough, because you're broken out of that reality, bang into this next one. And this next reality, usually you'll go, that's a cool picture. That picture there, just for a second, that's on a mosque. Go and check out the Iranian mosques if you smoke DMT a lot. Go and check out those. They're insane, the insides. I only come across them the other day. Because I know of lots of pictures like this on French churches and stuff like that, and Italian churches, but not in a mosque. Go and check out some Iranian mosques. It's off the planet. I've got a picture later on, actually. So you've just lifted up, you've gone through the scaffold looking stuff, and then boom, you're on your ass, you've been punched in the face by 10 sumos. And the next thing, you've gone through this, what they call chrysanthemum. The body loads off its nut. And there's a picture, that's inside a moss, that's depicting the doorway. There's a tunnel. And then there's a tunnel. This tunnel is like colourful, it's not black and white. You may have one, but I've never seen a black and white one. It's not a tunnel, so to speak, as a tunnel. It's in a round tunnel. Usually in my experience, I've been there about 40 times, you'll see the tunnel will come up and every wall is fractalised. So every one of those squares there, say it's all gridded, it's all fractalised. Inside every square is a picture, and inside that picture is another picture, and they're all fractals, and they're all spinning, and they're all morphing into different pictures, and they're all changing. And the floor, you go in there, and the floor and the walls, and then they'll start to spin around, and then they'll start to come in, and the back wall will come up to your face, and that'll turn around and spin, and then everything is just rotating and spinning around, and then that one room the right wall might just open right out and form another chamber, and then pylons will start coming down, and things will start coming out of there, and it all starts spinning around and morphing, and it's like you're sitting in this huge, great big box with all 3D and kaleidoscoping and spinning and morphing, and your mind's at this stage just going, how the hell is this possible? What the am I looking at? How? And you're just flabbergasted, and there's pressure going on, and it's just coming out of your head, and you can't run away from it. And if you've never seen it, the first time you see it, you'll pretty much shit your pants. You don't shit your pants, but you'll just be absolutely astonished, mindlessly silly. And and there's no blackness, and when you get in here, it's all colour. It's not colours like fluoros everywhere. There'll be a main colour, be yellow or grey or purple or whatever it is for you, and all the colour, all the fractals up the walls, and then the roofs and the floor and the ceiling. That'll all be different colours and things, but there'll be a main colour to the world, to the tunnel. And if it's not a tunnel, it'll be a waiting room, or what the people call a waiting room. I don't look at anything like a waiting room, but I suppose it is. And that'll be like this place, but more of a room instead of like a tunnel aspect, and that'll be all spinning around and doing the same sort of thing. Might be stuff dancing through there. You might see a few energies or something. There's a depiction of a waiting room. That's in a mosque too, but you might see different things dancing in that. And that's where you see a lot of those pictures from Alex Gray art on the internet, very similar to this. And that's what I call, that'd be the waiting room of DMT. He hasn't actually, that's not stepping outside the box, that's just breaking through into the first change of reality into your tunnels or your waiting room. Those pictures aren't way out. You should have breaking through then breaking out, like breaking out of everything. Like that's probably a better way to look at it, not like breaking through and through. Breaking through then breaking out, I'd say. But the waiting room, yeah, as I said, that's pretty cool. And that's your classic DMT trip. That's what people talk about using. That's where all the pictures come from off the internet. But it looks nothing like the real world. It's more computer graphic, or tessellations, they're called. CGI and tessellations mixed with a drawing, mixed with advanced geometry. It's just absolutely insane. It's like the language. It's like the language of the earth seen from the inside. It's weird. It's weird. Weird's not the word. There are no words for it. You have to experience it yourself. It's very, very weird. Yeah, the mind can't fathom it. It just has no idea what it's looking at. So rightio, and if you're unlucky and you don't sort of pop through the tunnel there and do whatever you're doing, you might just stay in that sort of world. You might just stay in the darkness, floating around with a few fractals, and that's some pretty intense ones. You might have some pretty energy contact sort of thing, meet some sort of stuff like that. But most of the time, at 20 to 25 milligrams, you will pop into the tunnel, unless you're really, really large body weight. Get all the room, as they call it. And that'll continue up into about 26 or 27 milligrams, 26. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the up to 30 milligram dosage. Alright. So there's the blackness I was talking about before, or you might have a bit of contact like that. So your level 5 doses, you're starting to get into some hero doses here. Level 30. You know, you're gonna have a breakthrough into the first reality. There's no two ways about it. It's gonna happen. If you smoke it correctly and don't burn it, you hold it in 20 seconds, commit to the experience, you're gonna have a breakthrough. Okay? So you've just loaded up 25 to 28 milligrams, 30 milligrams of your bigger fella of DMT, pure crystals, sandwich method, in your device of choice. Or whenever you're about to go. As soon as you smoke it, it'll probably take a little while to come on. You'll think, oh, is this stuff going to work? And all of a sudden you get an extremely large body buzz. Oh, we'll stop there a sec. Sometimes with DMT, it'll hit you in 25 seconds, 30 seconds. Sometimes it'll hit you in 6 or 7 or 8 or 9. Like, yeah. Even you still got to hold on to it, but you start to feel it come on strong. In 90% of the time, it takes a fair while to come on. As in 20 seconds, you hold your breath 20 seconds, you start to feel a few effects, you blow it out, and then it'll start to hit you bad. There are a few instances where it's come on between the 7 and 10 second mark. Okay, so be prepared for that too. When you're in the transitional period between putting your bilge down or putting your device down to sitting back in your chair, do it slowly, calmly, and relaxed. Because the faster you try and do shit and the more you fumble, the more oxygen you're going to use up, okay? So just nice and relaxed. Okay, so back to it. You just piled in your 27, 8 mil, up to 30 milligrams of powder into your thing, and you've smoked it. Take a little bit to come on, you're up to about the 30-second mark, thinking, oh, is this stuff going to work? And then all of a sudden you just get this strong body buzz. It just emanates out of your toes or your chest, like I said, or your head. Comes on very strong sedation. Very strong distortion in your hearing too as well. And you start to feel very quickly a feeling of shit. You know, you start to feel like you stand on the edge of the, you're starting to fold in on yourself and you start to go, oh shit, what have I done? And you quickly ease that up. Don't ever think that with DMT. You will, but when you start to think those horrible thoughts, quickly get rid of them and say to yourself, nah, you want to do this, just calm down, relax. Can't turn the button off. There's no off button for this stuff. There's no control. You just got to relax. Okay? So if you shit and then you think, oh no, I shouldn't have done this, and then you stop yourself. The black just surrounds you immensely. Okay? And then you go up and you'll go through the veil. You'll see the change again, you'll go up, you'll see everything swirl around you, everything will start fractalising, everything come out of everywhere, a real person will up, you'll lift, or down you'll fall, and you'll feel yourself pass through a film or a veil, or some people describe it as like feel like they're going through water or whatever else, but you'll feel yourself go into something. I said for me it's the crisscrosses and then bang, smack, so you go up, you feel like you're sort of like this, going up normally straight, and then you sort of lean over, and then as soon as you go through the veil, you go bang and flip back on your back, and you're straight like looking on your ass again. It's a very physical feeling. And these feelings when you're moving, flying, going through, they are very physical. You get that scared, you open your eyes and think you're going to fall and crash, and you can nearly feel the G-forces on your face. It's that insane. I'm not joking. I'm not joking about any of this. Okay. There we have your vibration. It's just intense. You'll feel your body hum, just buzzing your ass off. The sedation effect is very, very, very strong. The pressure on your face is starting to build, it's starting to get intense. You feel the lifting and falling effects highly. You go through the veil, you break through, the body load will be off its nut, and you either get stuck in the tunnel at this dose, and it'll be intricate as hell, stuff will be going everywhere, the tunnel will be fractalising even more than the last time and all this sort of stuff. But yeah, it's very, very intense. And yeah, you just don't want that to happen. Okay, like that. Sorry, I just missed me. Computer just stuffed me up. It just came up with an ad on the screen. I think, what the so anyway, you're stuck in the tunnel. So if you go to the tunnel at this level, the 27 level, usually I'll go past the tunnel, but what you can do is you can go into, or the waiting room, is you go into a gridded world, and these grids will appear. So instead of going to the tunnel, these grids will appear in the distance, in the blackness, and it'll be, and you think, what the hell is that? And you just see, is that coming towards me? It'll get bigger and bigger and bigger. Then all of a sudden you'll be like in a gridded world, and you can be, it's like you're flying above it, and you can look down. And a couple of times I've actually been able to go into the place, into the cities, and go around and sort of navigate a little bit around into these places, and you don't stay in there that long. Like with DMT, it's funny, you blast off to where you're going to go to, and you stay in that first, the strongest bit for what you'd say through 2-3 minutes, then you'll drop back out to the next bit for 5-6 minutes, then you'll drop to the next bit for a couple of minutes type of thing. The furthest you go all the time is always very intense and seems fairly fast compared to the rest. But anyway, this is the height. This is between 20 and 30 milligrams. Usually you'll go up. Everything will happen extremely erratically. You get some intense feelings, and then you'll go up and bust through into the void, into the tunnel. But usually you'll go past the tunnel, go to a gridded world. Okay, and there you may have some entity contact and things like that. You might see a few different creatures or something. Spirits maybe. I've never seen spirits. They're not like spirits, like ghosts. It looks nothing like ghosts. Because as I said, the world's like CGI. It's different. It's not like you imagine. It's not like a dream. It's not like anything you've ever seen. There it is, the gridded world. Grids on top, grids for sky. The sky's a grid, and you can see it. The base of the grid, even if you look into a canyon, the grid will go across the floor of the canyon, so to speak, or the river. And it's a very heavy dose. This level of DMT is a very heavy dose of DMT. Like, to smoke 25 to 30 milligrams of DMT in one breath is a very heavy dose. Okay, it's not as heavy as it gets, but it's a very intense experience. It gets hard to breathe at these experiences. It's complete sedation within 99%. Sometimes you experience pain on DMT. It affects your nerve system really bad. So sometimes you can see I haven't got the best teeth in the world. There's nothing wrong. It's a bit mucked up, but you sort of get a bit of pain in your nerve system sometimes. If you've got a sore bit in your teeth for some reason, or in the back of your neck or so, sound spirit molecule explains pain here and pain there. But the pain you do have will disappear, and you might get a new pain or two. It's hard to handle sometimes, this experience. It gets hard to handle at this dose. Okay, it's nothing to sneeze at. And this dose in 3 breaths is nowhere near the same as 1 breath. It's a completely different experience. It's a completely different drug. It's like drinking a fruit box compared to drinking vodka. Okay? So, and after the experience, you go into the world of grids, or wherever you go, and then you fall back and you'll come back through the stages. You'll come back into the blackness, and you might come back into the tunnel. Usually you'll go into the gridded world, where you fall back into the tunnel, and you'll go back into the, you fall down in stages as you go, as it wears off, almost like LSD or magic mushrooms when you're coming out of DMT, the last few stages of it. Okay, right, so then that's a breakthrough dose of DMT. Okay, now the next one, what we'll say would be 30 to 35 milligrams. Just give us a drink here of the old orange juice for a minute. I will apologise. Why we got that ad come up a minute ago on here was because that tune I was playing at the start of the video, I was just sitting there on YouTube, and then the ad came up, so it went onto the desktop so you can hear it. So that sucks. Sorry about that, but I'm not doing this again. So my apologies. Very heavy dose. Right, yeah. So we're about to have a reality check here. You've already just had one. You've just, those last 2 doses of DMT you've just had are probably going to take you a month or 2 to get over. You can, what the fuck was that? But here's where it gets difficult. I mean extremely difficult. I don't mean just difficult. This is going to be the most far out experience you've ever had in your life. It's going to probably be one of the most meaningful. Other than DMT is not better than anything you can experience in life, but you can probably experience most things that you can experience in life at a higher emotion on DMT than in real life. But in saying that, you can't hug somebody. You can't run up and hug your wife and kiss your baby in DMT. Okay. So people sometimes I will say, DMT is all great and fluffy and all the best, but sometimes I say look at it as in, maybe if you're in DMT land and you smoked a bit of earth, what would you feel like? How would you think about it? And it'd be a pretty amazing experience if you're stuck in DMT land and got to smoke a bit of earth. So don't take anything away from staying in the normal world. You only want to use these things every now and then. You don't want to detach yourself from reality, because you're here for it. You're here, enjoy it while you're here. Don't spend all your time in a different reality. Okay, but you're in for a reality check now. Okay, this is a dangerous level of DMT. It's not dangerous, but it's dangerous on the mind. Scare the fuck out of you. There's no sugarcoating way of that. I don't mean to swear, but the descriptive words that trying to describe the experience, it will scare the shit out of you. You might feel loved and blissed and all the rest of it when you come out, but the initial onset of it, and when you first get to where you're going to be freaking the fuck out. Alright? No matter who you are. Okay, there might be an odd exception out there. There's always the odd exception. There's always somebody, but for the 99% general population, level 6 of DMT is fucking out there. Alright? And then we're talking here up to 35 milligrams of DMT. Plus. I will say now, there's no reason to smoke more than 35 to 40 milligrams of DMT unless you're a really, really heavy sort of person, okay? I mean, over 130, 40 kilos. If you put 30 mils of crystal, 35 to 40 mils of crystal in a, as I've said, described in the way I've described here, and you smoke it properly, you don't need to smoke anymore. If you do, you're doing something wrong, okay? Or you've been on shitloads of other drugs and your brain's not working properly. Okay, so this level of DMT, you'll vibrate. As soon as you're smoking, you will vibrate the shit out of you. Okay? This experience is going to shake you to the core. So to start with, you've blown it out, it's sort of waiting, it's taking a little bit longer to come on than you expect. All of a sudden, your hearing's going to distort and you're going to feel weird. It doesn't always whine like they say, but it will distort in some drastic fashion. Okay? The body buzz will be immense and almost instantaneous. The sedation will be off the show. Okay, you feel all those feelings in about 3 seconds flat, and then it'll feel like you're standing on the edge of a cliff. Your whole self will fold in on itself, and you just feel like you've just gone, whoa, no, what have I done? And you'll have about a million thoughts in half a second. Okay, and then you'll just feel yourself separate. And this all happens in about 3 seconds. All these emotions just happen in that fast. You feel every one of them, but they happen that fast. I don't know how the hell you can register them all. And you feel yourself separate, and it's not a nice feeling. It's not horrible, but it's not a nice feeling. It's like the biggest set of butterflies are jumping off a bridge, 10-metre cliff into a water, or whatever, 20-metre cliff. Okay, and then fucking wham, just fucking wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Okay, there's no tunnels. There's no. You might see a bit of fractals and shit just goes that fucking quick, and it might all happen. But it's that bloody fast you can't see anything. You just feel yourself going, everything just goes boom. It's just like 1 minute you're sitting in your chair, everything's, what am I going to expect? Shit, the next thing smack, you're in the middle of some other alien's lounge room. So to speak, is the expression. You are just smack bang, and in the next minute you're just freaking the fuck out. Your heart's jumping out of your chest because you're that half frightened, flabbergasted, amazed, all at once. Don't know what's going on. You've seen this amazing vision, then all of a sudden you're in a world, or you might be in a room with something or somebody, and these worlds are bright and they're shiny and it's just like nothing. You just can't explain it. Like, I've been to a place, I'm saying it looked very similar to that, and I was in there and I was walking around, and I'll explain that later on when we do the second series of DMT, some of the experiences I had. But I'm saying that's as real as it is. And that, to look at, you think, oh, that'd be cool. It's not. It is, but you're not. I met an entity in there, and he was like an 8-foot tall gnome, and he was dark. It's an 8-foot tall gnome, but that's the only way I can describe it. He wasn't a gnome, he was a figure. And it's just like me sitting here talking to you. Like, you're sitting in a room talking to somebody. Is that real? It's not like I'm watching stuff go past. It's all encompassing. You're sitting in a room, and you can actually turn around and look and go, whoa, holy shit. And it's, and you can. In another trip I had, I met a Joker type dude, and I just went flying. I just appeared. One minute you sit in the chair, next minute you just appear, and you're sitting in the hand of this big Joker, and he's in a huge big nursery area, and an alien fucking nursery sort of thing. There's people walking around, and there's beings walking around, and this guy's looking at you, and you just, it's that real. It's absolutely mind shattering. And the places that you go, it's not like dreaming. You have no idea. I mean, you might want to go to a space journey and see what you think you saw in the spirit molecule. It'll be nothing like that. You'll end up. You want to see chalk, you'll see cheese. I expect to see space things not come into contact with alien life form sort of things, and elves, and like they DMT McKenna elves things. I've seen these guys sort of thing, and they were what the people describe as the machine elves, but I don't look at it that way. I never expect to see any elves or entities, and I'll tell you, this level of DMT, you'll come across quite a fair few intelligent things, and that in itself just scares the fuck out of you. Like, fair enough to say, but you're not just dreaming about them, you're there interacting with these things, and it is as real as real. As that time when you're on that trip, it is realer than real. You are 100% immersed in the experience, okay? May look like you're sitting in the chair and you're not doing too much, but this is the most intense thing that's ever happened in your life. Okay? Okay. So, there's another aspect of it. I'm just going through my notes here to see. I mean, you can be confronted with anything. You don't know, you can't guess. No one can. You just don't know. You just whatever you're prepared for, you can't prepare for DMT. Try your best and watch things like this, and this is the best you can do. But just watch the Spirit Molecule a million times, and nothing. I've experienced DMT a lot, and it's not like that. Yeah. And that is the breakthrough dose. You've broken out of reality. You've gone out the other end. You're into space. You, so to speak, you've just gone way past everything. You're not you anymore. It's a life-shattering experience. Okay. You need to experience that with DMT to actually so you know what the full aspect of DMT like. At different ranges, DMT can be 4 to 5 different drugs. At this level, it's fucking chaotic. It's just way too much for the human mind. Like, I've had trips on this level where I've wished I was dead. I've thought dying has got to be easier than this. And you think that guy's a dickhead when he says stuff like that, but I'm 100% serious. And if you know where I'm coming from, you say, gee, that guy sort of very well chooses his words well. Sounds stupid to the untrained person or the unknowledgeable person about this stuff. But I'm 100% serious. Okay? This stuff doesn't have words for it. It's easy to lose your mind at this type of level, and it's easy to give into amazement. As Terence McKenna said, you probably can't die from DMT, but you probably die of amazement on DMT. And I don't doubt that. I probably doubt, I'm not going to die, but the shock horror of it, the shock of the experience is just unfathomable. Okay? What else we go? And then after you go into that massive room, you'll be ejected from that place. You'll either go back through a tunnel, or you'll go back, welcome to the other side. So you'll go back somewhere else, and you come back into the blackness, and you won't go to the tunnel, you go straight through the other world, and you'll spend a fair bit of time in there in a few different realities, come back and see a lot of different things. You'll be in a main room to start with, or main area, and then it'll come out of that, and you'll go into another area, and then there'll be all sorts of different things, entity contacts and different stuff like that. Advanced whatever, and then you might fall back in another reality, and then you'll drop out, and then you'll sort of fall back into the blackness, and then you'll go. So you might experience 2, 3, up to 5 or 6 different realities in that one far out, and then you'll drop back into the normal DMT blackness and see what's sort of going on. It's really funny too on some of these stages. You have like a split personality, like you'll bang, you're there, and then all of a sudden your brain's going, wow, look at that. That's fucking insane. There's also another half here, and you're going, that's going, fuck, look at that, you don't want to go in there, that's this, and it's telling you, and it's telling you what it is. It'll say, oh, that's the filing cabinet of your own mind, or you're looking at whatever it is, and it knows what you're looking at. But you yourself, you've never seen it, you've never done DMT, you've never done anything like this, and all of a sudden you're in a place that you know where you are. You don't know where you are, but this other little person, and then you're sitting on your shoulder, goes, well, which is you, explains it to you and tells you where you are, and you're going, what the fuck, how do you know? It's weird. I had a guy ring me up the other night talking about it, actually. It was very interesting. It was the first time I sort of had anyone else try and ask me about that, and I said, yeah, I was trying to explain it to a few people, but yeah, it's a very strange phenomenon. Yeah, it's almost like some of the things you've actually seen before and been there, and you think to yourself, well, when was I there? Okay. That's what we're getting into deja vu, so we'll talk about that for. Okay, and then there are doses higher. You certainly know people doing up to 100. I've seen a bloke do 200 milligrams. Fuck knows how he did it, but 100 milligrams in a cone of DMT is just retarded. I could see you put it in a joint and do it, but you still don't need that much. If you're doing that, I mean, those doses, anything over those sort of doses, most of it was 65 milligrams, and over those doses, you just start to black out. Like, and if you're doing those sort of doses, you're getting over 40, 50 milligrams in a joint, you're just wasting your spice, and you got the wrong technique. So if you're using that much, you got the wrong technique, or you're just crazy. You just, as in you're a drug pig, you're a warrior, you're just nuts. There's no reason to use that much DMT. As I said here, the experience that I've seen on nearly just under 40 milligrams for my 60 kilos is enough. You don't. What else more? I don't know. I don't see what you're chasing if that's the go. It's more than enough. Yeah. Okay. So go for your life, but it's more than enough. I personally don't think if you're smoking over 35 milligrams to 40 in one breath and hold it in properly and good DMT, you don't need any more than that. You've either got a poor technique or shitty spice, or you're just something's wrong with you. You've got a drug interaction or something somewhere along the line. Okay. There's a picture, and some of these places that you go through in this whole world are that shiny it burns your eyes, and the gems that are spinning around are so shiny. And like I went to a room once, and it was the walls were that shiny you couldn't barely look at. It was burning your eyes, and everything was made out of crystals, and there's all these gems and crystals and spinning around, and people walking about. And I'll tell you all about it another time. Yeah, it's very weird, but very, very amazing. And there's an entity contact there. I mean, I've seen a lot of dark, like ancient-looking samurai dudes, so I don't know where they come into it, but yeah, I've never seen any free-flowing lava energy. I have in I've seen things that I could depict as that in lower dose trips, but when you go higher, you don't need to go, oh, that was a ball of energy flying past. You fucking know what it is because it's standing 2 foot in front of you going, you. Okay, so, and if you're not prepared for that, which you know what he is, be prepared to be confronted with some pretty out there stuff, some pretty scary shit, okay? And it might not be scary as in knife death scary, it's just so confronting to believe that it even exists, like it's just off its head. Okay, there's a guy pulling his hair out and that's what you'll be like, wah! It's just like a car crash in the mind. You feel your mind the first time you smoke a big break through those two, you just go, and just fucking, can't handle this, you turn off, switch it, fuck. Okay, and that's 100% the DMT experience. I don't know what else you could want unless you want to die. Okay, there's some black energy contact. There's a picture of the blackness just swirling around, it's cool. Like when you're at the high levels of the black, before the seeing, before you pop through. And this is done all for harm reduction, okay? I'll tell you all about this for your own mental safety and your own safety. I'm pretty happy to make this. Hopefully this made a fair bit of sense. I enjoyed making these videos. DMT is highly illegal. What I will say though is when you're doing, don't mix it with alcohol. Do not drink alcohol and mix drugs, especially DMT. Most of the time when you see people on the internet dying off pills or drugs, it's because they've mixed it with fucking alcohol, or they don't know what they're doing, or they don't know the substance they've got, so they can't prepare. If every drug came with a list of instructions of dosage wise and effect, and it was all pure stuff, we know where it came from, there'd be barely any deaths. But unfortunately, that's not the case, and the government control everything, so we can't do shit. So until that happens, you're going to keep seeing people dying. So that's why we're making this. Okay, don't use drugs before you do DMT. Use DMT with a clear mind. Oh, I forgot to mention DMT. Rightio. Mind state. Every other drug you have, cigarette, whatever, changes your mind. On DMT, you have the most clear head you've ever had any time in your life on anything. There's no distortion of your thought process from a normal thought. Even if you've had 40-50 milligrams of DMT, okay, you can still think to yourself rationally, am I okay? What's going on? Did I feed the cat? If you want to, you can't switch off from the experience, but you can still think rationally. It's the only chemical on earth that I've experienced that you can have and still have a rational thought. Even when I go to hospital and have their painkillers, they still change the psyche more than DMT does. It's the most potent thing on earth, but it also does absolute fuck all to the train of thought. Okay? So there's another weird bit for you. It was all about education. I hope you got something out of it. Sorry to dribble shit. Sorry, the production's not the best in the world, but I'm trying. I don't need to have fancy stuff to get this information out here. You just need to listen to what I'm trying to say. Now there's a picture of 5-MeO DMT, and there's a picture of DMT. So you aren't going to get anything out of it. Okay, so I mean, they're both the same fucking thing to look at, so you don't really know, do you? As I showed you, both white powders. Do your 5 milligram test. Don't risk your life. Okay, because 5-MeO DMT at high dosages is very high on the heart, and you can have a heart attack and all sorts of stuff. Okay, so yeah, do the test. Right, I don't condone the use of any drugs or any illegal substances, but unfortunately in the world it happens. Okay, this is what's going on in the world, so people need to educate. The government don't want you knowing about it or doing anything about it, so there's no education out there except for people on the internet or people like me. I thought I'd try and do a real one, a real normal look at DMT, other than all this hyped up shit. Yes, you can meet entity contact. Yes, you may feel like you're blasting out your body. Yes, you may do this, and this. Yes, it is the most amazing thing on earth. Okay? Oh, well, in that way, I think getting married to my wife and having beautiful children is the most amazing thing on earth. Okay? But this is another experience. It's another level again. Okay? It's another different thing. Completely changing reality. So thanks for watching. I will make it probably just a short wrap-up video to summarise all this, okay, quickly, and then season 2 will be more about the actual tripping aspect and what you do see, what you can, my experiences and other people's experience that I know of the what they've seen, where they've been, where they've come in contact with, what they've discussed with their contact, what their thoughts are, you know. So send us some emails if you want to hear that sort of stuff. Let me know, and you just keep sending me an email. Obviously, this channel's only new, so it's going to wait. So I'll wait a few months and see what happens. You know, the channel's not going to close. I'll just give it a few months and see what happens, and see if anyone emails me is interested in the subject. If you want to talk to me about it, just email me, and I'll get back to you, and we'll get on Skype. We can do whatever you want. Like I'm a pretty easygoing sort of fella. So yeah. So peace out everybody, and thank you very much for watching. I've enjoyed making these videos. As I said, once again, they're not the best quality in the world, but the information is there. Okay, so thanks guys, peace out. This is AM Reaper, DMT Journey of the Infinite Mind, and we'll see you next time on the season 2. Okay, peace guys, cheers. Email down the bottom there at JOTIM, JOTIM, DMT @gmail.com. I'm AM Reaper. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.